within the streaming area, churn is certainly a problem, and a lot of comes down to quality. So I've got Jonny here from Amino, and just tell me about some of the remote monitoring and management tools you have.
Okay, so one of the key platforms that we produce is our Engage remote monitoring system. Our customers, who are pay TV operators, differentiate themselves really in the service they provide. There are many ways to consume content today. Our customers are focused on providing excellent service, their net promoter scores, and being able to answer questions, resolve problems that their subscribers call in with. So Engage is a monitoring tool that allows them to do that remotely from their NOC, from their call centres, and eliminate truck rolls. So one huge cost that a lot of operators have is sending technicians out into the field to solve problems. And what we find is a huge percentage of the problems that engineers are going out to the field to try to resolve are actually very simple issues. HDMI cables not plugged in correctly, a network connection not plugged in correctly. We get a lot of devices returned and there's no fault found. So that's a huge cost. Being able to diagnose and resolve those problems remotely using our Engage platform, it delivers better service because customers don't really want to wait in for an engineer to visit. They would like to be able to lift the phone, have a problem solved immediately. So it's better user experience for the subscriber. For the operator, it's a cost saving. They do not have to maintain a fleet of trucks. They're reducing the number of technicians they have to have on the road, and instead they're replacing that with expertise and skill in their call centres, backed up by the best tools that allow operators to deliver the best quality of service. So it's a win-win situation. It's a management platform that we see really differentiates our products. So we obviously produce and deliver Android TV devices. We develop a lot of software in those, but really our Engage platform puts service monitoring and management around that, and that differentiates Android with Amino for our pay TV operators.
Well, truck rolls are always expensive and should be avoided.
Hugely expensive.
at any cost, for sure. So Amino really has a good balanced way of handling sustainability versus profits and compliance. So talk to me about that.
Right, so sustainability has become increasingly important for all of us, and we see that it's becoming much more important for our customers. We see it in RFPs. Our customers are asking about our products, how sustainable they are, our credentials, our ESG policy. So it's obviously something that's important to more and more of the world now. You know, we saw it as something that was started off being really important in Europe, but I see it everywhere now, and I see it across the globe becoming a really important topic. We've just talked about Engage. We talked about reducing truck rolls. That's an obvious, environmental consideration. Fewer trucks on the road, less gasoline. You know, that has an environmental cost. So we're reducing that. But the approach we've taken to sustainability is not to focus on one thing. So I see too many hardware manufacturers worrying about what's the standby power of the device, and yes, that's important, but there's regulation around that. Maybe we could squeeze another 1% out of that and make a device slightly better. It's noise compared to some of the other things that are happening. So what I decided to do was look across everything we do, our supply chain, our products, and it's amazing where you find really significant savings to be had. One huge savings we found was just reducing the size of the product. So by reducing the size of the product, I obviously reduced the materials that go into it. So that's one saving. I reduced the amount of packaging that has to go around that. I increased the number of devices that can go on a single pallet. That increases the number I can put in a 40-foot container, and that reduces the number of containers I have to put onto a ship. Now, that just started from how small can we make these devices? Can we shrink them? It ends up being a massive saving. We also then look at those materials. So I don't want to use virgin plastics. I want to use recycled plastics. We use recycled materials for our packaging, so our protective cardboard boxes, etc. We've eliminated all plastic wrapping. So we use things like paper ties to tie cables rather than putting them in plastic bags. But we've also looked at the supply chain, and there's no point in removing plastic bags from your packaging that goes to subscribers if you find that in the factories your manufacturers are taking the remote control or the cable out of a plastic bag, putting it into landfill and putting a paper tie around it. That's not very helpful.
Yes.
So I think that would be my key message here, is look at everything, look at your entire end-to-end business, your entire supply chain, and then, as always, attack the problems, the bigger problems first, the ones that are achievable but large. Go after them.
Don't boil the ocean.
Don't try to boil the ocean. And
no pun intended at this point in time.
And one last point I would make in sustainability is everybody assumes it adds cost to the product. Actually, it doesn't always. So if you look at truck rolls, the cost of those versus using Engage to manage service and reduce truck rolls, truck rolls are hugely expensive.
Money.
You're saving a huge amount of money, and you're creating a better customer experience, and you're being more sustainable. So, where is the problem in that?
Right. Now, Amino also, because you've got a lot of LED screens out and flat screens, and you do a lot of stuff with digital signage. So what are the key drivers in that area?
So digital signage is similar. We can reuse a lot of our engineering skills and our technology skills to produce digital signage products. But it's an area that we see is growing, and I think it's becoming an area that we can do more and more in, because signage in the past maybe was more quite static displays, presentation, scheduling of presentations. Now I'm seeing much more video-centric use cases, a lot more complexity in the use cases, and it really plays into the engineering skills that we have with our team. So we're doing some great work with really low latency video with some partners, delivering into sports applications, sports betting applications. But it's incredible the number of different use cases that are out there for a good quality signage player. So we focus on robust hardware, ruggedized chassis. Think about the installation options. So for example, we would use Power over Ethernet with our signage products, which allows you to have a single wire installation, which is really valuable. If you're trying to put a signage player at the top of a gantry.
Simpler the better.
Exactly, exactly. And then we're adding high-end features onto the software, because people want a high-end experience on a signage product. It's maybe used for advertising of a premium brand. You want the best graphics, you want the best quality video and audio in that robust, ruggedized package. So we look at all of those different use cases. Now, we do not get into the actual delivering a complete solution for a vertical. We deliver the infrastructure and again the management platform, because it's equally important signage. And then we provide rich APIs on the device to allow integration with point of sale systems, new user interfaces, and to really exploit the GPU and the capabilities of the set-top box. And then content management systems and other system integrators put the vertical applications onto those devices. So I'm excited about it, because I see it's an area where we can really innovate. It's a growing market. There's scope for innovation, there's room for innovation, and there's great things happening, and it's quite exciting to wake up in the morning and think, what can we do next?
It's all about branding these days, and I'm really impressed from Amino's point of view of looking at sustainability. That whole supply chain thing was a great chat today. Thank you, Jonny.
Thank you.